I could actually take up a whole service telling you about John, but I won't, because what he has to say is more precious. I met John Christian over 30 years ago in 1983, and it was through actually Mark Davison, Susie, Paul Solomon, and then John that lured me into the fellowship, and I met my husband through him, and I won't tell you that story, but it's a useful one. When we were working, I was helping run the fellowship in England for 3 years, and John was our main teacher over there. And so almost every weekend, so we promoted events around there, almost every weekend he was doing ILC and different presentations over there. And to see the growth in people, that connection, that working with each other over weekends were just profound. And love him like my brother, and amazing man. And in that interim, I've now been here 23 years, and in that interim, I've only really caught little sights of what he's been doing, and heard yesterday all the different countries he's been to, many in Europe and Australia and South America. He has taken the time to work and seek out indigenous people and find the true essence of what they're about. This man has a wisdom of knowledge taken from that. And the biggest thing I would say, it makes me so proud as your soul sister, to see how much he has grown from that time. I mean, you could see, look at this charismatic guy. He was like, he was like that. He draws people in. He's a Pied Piper. But to see him then embody and do the disciplines of the teachings, and now see the results. I've been privileged to come to several of his sessions since he's been here, and I would highly recommend, anytime you get the opportunity to come and be with him and learn from him, please take it up, because you personally will grow profoundly and you'll be of tremendous service out to the world. We're trying to lure him back for 3 months. Please make sure this fellowship gives as much support to do that, because we'll all grow through it. So thank you, John, for your service.
Thank you, Judith. Okay. I'd love to be able to share this with you, so maybe we could just adjust a little. Yeah, wherever you can. Maybe just, come sit over here. Yeah. Okay. I'm aware of time, so Judith, be my timekeeper, you please, on this one. How can I follow that introduction? It's certainly the very best one I've had this morning. So, as Judith said, I was drawn into this fellowship because as a child I knew the light, and when I was sent to learn knowledge and shift out of my tummy brain to my head, it was like the light went out and I went into a long tunnel for a long time, which for me was uncomfortable. And I know that for thousands of people around the world, in all nations and all cultures, that have done the same. It's the same story. So I put out prayer, without calling it that in those days. Please send me someone who will help me come back to the light. And eventually, Paul Solomon came into my life. And it was from this guidance and meditation that my life is nothing short of a miracle, I have to say. And I'm even astounded sometimes, which is great. Okay, so this introduction here was put together by Paul, mainly, from Source, of 3 stages that you and I have within us in every moment. And we have the freedom to do something about, but many don't know that. So it's called the average human being. So I'm just going to go through this list. But firstly, I thought you'd like to see this little bit of information about you right now that I picked up from the Scholastic in Australia. So a day in the life of the human miracle. If you happen to be an adult of about average weight, here's what we do in 24 hours. You can read it out with me for fun. Read it out with me.
3,689 times. Your blood travels 270 million kilometers. You breathe 23,040 times. You inhale 1.3 cubic meters of air.
Unless you're doing yogic Kapalabhati. still don't sell it.
You lose in weight 3.5 kilos of waste. You perspire 1 liter. You give off 30 degrees Celsius. You turn in your sleep 25 to 30 times.
So you can't moan at your partner any longer.
You speak 48,000 words.
Unless you're a chatterbox like me.
You move 750 major muscles. Your nails grow 0.015 millimeters. Your hair grows 25 millimeters. You think an estimated 50 to 60,000 thoughts.
And recent brain research says that by the time a child is 7, most of that is negative. That's the latest research. That's pretty challenging for us, isn't it?
You exercise 7 million cells.
So what does that mean? In reality, in truth.
You are amazing.
Say I.
I am amazing.
Again.
I am amazing.
Let the cells of this church feel your truth in that once more.
I am amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Out of the mouths of babes. They haven't forgotten yet, you see. So, the average human being uses 1 to 10% of their potential, lives in fear and mistrust, lacks self-confidence, suffers stage fright, fears taking responsibility, which means to respond with your abilities, God-given. One's own worst enemy. As John Lennon wrote, instant karma is out to get me. Every time I do this stuff, guess who gets it first? Guess whose body feels it first? Even when you think it's someone else you're going on about. Poor self-image. Fear is the most destructive force to man's intelligence, real intelligence. So all of that list was certainly me in the first 27 years of my life, because that's what I learned. So I live like that. And it's a horrible place to live. I think you'd all agree. And that's in you and I right now. Every day I have to see that in myself, and I have to do my best to not let it get the energy of my attention. Deep breathe, get it out. Do not allow this mind, these emotions, this body to do such a thing to these cells and other people. The average human being living in a state of victim consciousness. This is what Paul brought home to us so every day. Believes in if only. So victimized by time. Read it.
Money. Health stress. Governance. Authority figures.
And most of us have adopted the authoritarian figure that was the one that says, if you don't repeat this information properly, you better give yourself a hard time, because if you don't, I will. And that's what we're doing to ourselves still. God, what a way to try and learn. And it never works, never has done, never will work. Hence the reading this morning, when you turn to true knowledge, you forget everything you've learned, because it's the only thing that keeps you trapped in this cycle. The attitudes and... Go on. Isn't that powerful, that one statement? We allow ourselves to be victimized by the attitudes, beliefs, and responses of other people because we don't believe we're enough already. Because we believe there's something missing or something lacking when there isn't. So we're victims of our own belief systems. Belief systems. Read it.
If you believe you can, you can't. If you believe you can, you can.
One of your countrymen. Read it with me.
It's estimated that more than 40 million working hours are lost every year due to stress-related issues.
Now, thank God, there's hope. And this is the possible human in you and I, in this room, in this breath, in this body, in this moment. And it's already spoken to you this morning because when you wake up in the morning, the possible human in you says, come on, you need a bit of exercise. The average human goes, who am I? Oh God, exercise, oh, go on a diet, oh no. But the possible human keeps encouraging us. I would never be standing here if this was not true of the light of consciousness in myself. I lived in absolute terror stage 5 for 17 years. So the light gave me the mystery school of show business. What a great place. To crucify self and resurrect self. What a great place. So, read for me.
A possible human is a person who redefines our beliefs about what is humanly possible.
Yes. By. Okay, when Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, it was believed by all of the intellectual scholars in every field it was humanly impossible. But he refused to believe it. So he did it. And Lundy down in Australia was watching him because he'd been trying to do the same thing. When Bannister did it, he said, right, if he can do it, I will do it. He went ahead and he did it. Since then, every 4 years at the Olympic Games, we see what we are capable of if we refuse to be average and fit in. Every 4 years. And we get better and more advanced. We break all belief systems. Okay. So, we break the
Physical barrier. Social barrier. The psychological barrier.
That's a good one to work with.
The commitment sacrifice barrier.
That's a really major one to work with.
Only a handful have lived in such a way as to be remembered individually.
So how do you want to leave this planet? Thank you, Robert. Read it.
The world will not evolve past its current state of crisis by using the same thinking that created the situation.
Yes. Right. Nelson Mandela's inauguration speech.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that so frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant? Actually, who are you not to be?
So herein lies the mystery school, because when you let your light shine, people try and put it out. That's the test. Because they want to stay average, they want to stay asleep. They don't really want to be woken up because it means change. We are like moths flying to a flame. We know it's going to burn our wings, but we can't resist it. If we are willing to truly understand, like the Buddhists say, the only enemy is guess who? Self. And the only battle is with guess who? Self. If we're willing to take full responsibility and stop such battling, we just prove who we are, right here, right now. Okay. So we ask ourselves, did you read that bit?
Yes.
Thank you.
You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't save the world. There is nothing in life without shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. You were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear.
Sorry guys, we missed that last bit. But that's fine, as we liberate ourselves from our own fear. The truly charismatic, meta-human, as Paul brought it to us, it means complete self-transformation from a caterpillar to a butterfly in spirit, in consciousness. Two caterpillars were crawling along the road like this, and a beautiful butterfly went past. And one caterpillar turned to the other and went, oh, you'll never get me to be one of those things. And that's what we do in our everyday mind. Right, so read this.
Strive to achieve their full potential. It takes total responsibility for self. Has strength of character and integrity.
That is really, really important. And that was the whole essence of our training with Paul. He took us from really average, true David, and shaped our characters for us. That's what inner light consciousness does. The world needs it.
Master of mind, body, and spirit. Cares about life and others. Sacrifices the stuff ordinary lives are made of.
You can't be average.
Believes in an independent intelligence. We are what we do here to do. That's constant, it's not an act, but a habit.
Now this is how you are creating in this very second. Take a breath for me. In that breath is, and that's your light that tells you every day, every morning, don't speak like that, don't think like that, don't behave like that. Come on, rise up. If we do this, next thing that happens. Why? What a magnificent divine setup we give ourselves. How am I going to know who I really am if I don't also test myself? So I treat this little guy that's called Dale, who can slay my inspiration and my truth in a skin minute, if I let it. If I do, what happens next? Ooh. So everybody knows Lord of the Rings? Smeagol and Gollum? You've all got one in your head.
And be good, yes, be good. Oh, be nasty, yeah. Gossip, bitch, yeah.
Stress. So then, this is my joke. We end up with a, read it for me.
Low self-esteem, creativity, or communication.
So we end up with a hard-boiled ego. Nobody can reach us, we're not listening, nobody can tell us anything, and we're just defensive, resistant, and quick to react. Thank you. So how do we get out of that? We have to recognize instantly what we're doing to ourselves, take responsibility, and we need to do that is so simple. Yes, so simple. Now, isn't that what you all want in your hearts anyway? Of course it is. It's obvious. Be true to yourself and the truth will set you free. That then, with practice, it becomes spontaneity. Because the brain's relaxed, it's not cluttered with fear. And then you end up with this is from two dictionaries' definition of charisma. This is the Australian dictionary. A
Power given by the Holy Spirit, the ability to influence or impress people through special personal qualities, as in public figures.
English dictionary.
Divinely conferred power or talent, capacity to inspire followers with devotion and enthusiasm.
Very good. The superhuman. This is the vision that the realizers that are on this planet are trying to get over to us. That's what drew me to this fellowship and this church. None of that was going on. I was free to think and explore. How beautiful.
Wow.
It is a call to man to do what no species has yet done or aspired to do in terrestrial history. Evolve self-consciously into the next superior type, already have foreseen the continual cyclic development of the world idea in nature's fruitful music.
That's what's happening in the world. Everywhere. Everywhere I've been. Everybody knows it. Everybody's trying to find their own form to bring it through.
But they're not doing it. That's the problem.
Yeah, thank you for that point. But the only reason we're not doing it is because we're still lolling around in irresponsibility. It's simply that.
That's right.
It's grow up time. If we want to prove it, we live in a time now when we've been given all the tools, all the teachings in myriad forms, and we leave it here. So as the Chinese masters say rightly, to know but not to do means not to know. And that's the message we're getting, every one of us in our own personal lives. We only get to know, this is my experience, I only know all this knowledge I was given when I do it. Then this body goes, whoa!
Body in motion tends to stay in motion.
The body's the last thing to get it. That's where we're lazy, guys. So that's where we have to become Olympians in our own life. Do the work. Body doesn't want to do it. Mind doesn't want to do it. Right, okay. Next bit.
And when we so envisage it, this conception ranks surely as one of the most difficult seeds that can be cast by thought into the soil of our human growth.
Sri Aurobindo, Pondicherry University in India, which is a stunning place to go and visit. I'm going to finish on this one. This, yeah, good. What we need is the group teaching, set of laws, collection of manners by which the physical might be attuned, or the senses or the spirit